Welcome to Rethink Optimism. I'm not kicking off the event, but I'm just wanting to help get this room a little bit more quiet and to introduce Rakefet to kick off. Welcome, Rakefet.
Good evening and welcome to you all, and thank you for coming. Delegations from abroad, founders, industry leaders, partners, thank you all. This evening is about optimism. We believe optimism is a key factor to a company's success, especially in venture. It's not a coincidence that we are having this event at the kickoff of Cyber Week. We all know Team8 started in cyber. Even my own personal story with Team8 is cyber-related. It's almost a decade ago. They were at the beginning of their journey. We at Leumi were under a cyber attack. This was when I discovered Team8. At that stage, a stellar cyber group with the most talented tech team I'd ever come across. Fast forward 10 years, we've become a multiple domain venture group. In addition to cyber, we are active in enterprise tech, data, fintech, and digital health. We have a very unique venture model where we build and invest in transformative companies. Many of them aim to accelerate digital transformation. The ones who know me here know well that I'm a great believer in digital transformation. Actually, not just a believer. I spent many of my years transforming the oldest and the most traditional financial institution in Israel. But this was years ago, and the ecosystem was totally different. Today, digital transformation is much more accessible. And Team8 is a great enabler of it. This is where we thrive. This is our vision. And in order to execute our vision, we partner and we collaborate with many of our stakeholders. Whether we are collaborating with global brands like Money 2020, bringing them to Israel, or leading an event at the UN in New York to promote private-public partnerships in cyber, or initiating a global founders village. On the screen behind me, in a minute, you will see what happens when Team8 brings over 100 founders to bond in the desert. No doubt that this clip captures the essence of the special atmosphere we had there. But we also had a purpose. We know how difficult it is to be a founder, how difficult it is to be an entrepreneur, to get up every morning and fight the hardships. And that's why we decided to empower founders and build a warm and supportive village for them. We've got a great evening ahead of us. So without further ado, I would like to thank our supporting partners, Deloitte Catalyst, Meitar, Night Dragon, Discount Bank, and Discount Tech. Thank you all. And to call up the visionary, the first investor in Team8, a decade ago, and the man behind our company building model, my partner, Yuval Shachar, our chairman. Please.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I want to take about 2 minutes to tell you about Team8's secret sauce in company building. And it's a secret sauce, and even though I know most of you, I'm going to trust you with our secret. So our secret sauce, we'd like to think, has 3 main ingredients. One, and the first, we call the village. And we like to paraphrase and say it takes a village to build a company. The second is our own amazing team of experts that help us build those companies. The third is effectively the process that we've created over time that helps us bind everything together. So let's start with the village. And the village is a concept that is relatively easy to explain, kind of hard to pull off sometimes. But the idea is this: if you're in an amazing founding team, if you are innovating in a market and you could have access to the most significant executives in the most important companies in your market, and they would participate with you in the company building process and validate that you're building the right thing, you're thinking the right way about what you're building, then there's a good chance that if you build it, it will be a good fit for the market because the market participated in this process. And so we've been building villages for 10 years now. We've just had an amazing 5 days with 130 chief security officers from some of the largest companies in the world. Some of them are still in the audience, and Liran will show you a little bit of what we were up to. And we've been building villages in fintech, in digital health, and even now a CDO village in the enterprise. It's been a very, very key asset in our company building process. The next asset is our own team, and we have about 100-strong team at this point. Some of the best technologists, hackers, attackers, developers in the market. Some of the greatest go-to-market people in teams around business development, marketing, sales acceleration, lead generation. We have an operating team. We have a deep financial team. We have a talent acquisition team. All of those people are working for our founders. And think about it. If you're an amazing founding team and you have 100 of those people working from day one with you to build your company, could you build a better company? We think the answer is yes. The last is our process, and the process brings it all together. The process, in my mind, is the opportunity for our founders to debug what they're about to commit to for the next, sometimes 10, 15 years of their life. And so in our process, we have formal milestones. In the milestones, we will have as many as 50 to 70 C-level executives from the relevant village. And this is not a sales pitch. We typically present a synthesis of everything we know about what we're about to build, the problem, how we understand the problem, why we think it's important, the solution architecture, how we plan to take it to market, anything that the founders want to validate and get fine-tuned before they go out to build it, so that when they go out to build it, we help them accelerate their go-to-market, and we know they're off in the right direction. And so we've been doing this for a while. It's really hard to create a repeatable process to build companies from scratch. We are about to start our process with our 20th company. And as we do this, repeatability helps us achieve scale. And scale allows us to have impact in the markets that we operate in. And not only do we build our own companies, at this point, we also have the ability to invest in the best companies in the ecosystem that we haven't started and lean in and help with our resources build them. And to that end, I'd like to invite my friend and colleague and partner, Sarit.
Thank you, Yuval, and good evening, everyone. I'm Sarit Firon, managing partner at Team8, where I lead Team8 Capital, the investment arm of Team8. In Team8, in Team8 Capital, we apply the same strategic thinking that is the base of the company building and ideation processes that Yuval just discussed. This allows us to create a cohesive portfolio that also creates synergies among all our companies. And I forgot to tell you also that we invest in seed and A rounds in startups in Israel in the same domain areas of Team8. So we cannot discuss investments without addressing the macroeconomic environment. So we're all experiencing slower growth, layoffs, reduced investment activity, and also increased uncertainty around inflation, interest rates, and recovery. But I believe that we have a few reasons to remain optimistic. First off, many industries have just begun to embrace innovation. Their digital transformation won't stop now. Just think of businesses that still pay their vendors with paper checks. They must innovate, they must digitize their operations, regardless of any stock market condition. Secondly, it's a great time to make good deals, simply because company valuations are way more reasonable now. And some would even say that the best, or what makes VCs best, is the vintage year and not actually how smart the investors are. And thirdly, it's a great time to start a company. The emphasis on growth and unit economics creates companies that are more resilient and healthier. And some of the best and strongest companies in the history were born actually in downturns. Just to name a few from 2008, 2009, Airbnb, WhatsApp, Slack, Square, etc. I would say that these are good reasons for optimism, but the simple truth is that our optimism is rooted also in our collective experience. For me, that means navigating two major financial crises during my 30-year career across Silicon Valley, New York, and Israel, like many of my partners. We witnessed firsthand how companies can emerge stronger and more resilient from challenging times. The importance of being very cautious also at the height of a bubble, combined with our rigorous and due diligence and ideation processes, allow us to make investment choices that rise above market fluctuation. So speaking about industries that are desperate for innovation, I am honored to introduce my esteemed colleague and friend, Professor Varda Shalev, who leads the Digital Health Foundry.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I might have to. Oh, is the monitor have to push?
Hi, thank you, Sarit. It's great to be here with you as part of the managing partners in Team8. You probably wonder why in Team8 they created a digital health venture. So Team8 is not small anymore, and they needed a physician on board. And what's better than a family physician? So healthcare in the world and in Israel is fully fragmented all over the world. And we pay too much and get too little. I wear many hats in the digital health domain, and I can tell you that one of the most important things that have changed over time is data. We create so much data: proteinomics, genomics, wings, rings, watches, and more and more. And in parallel, there is a huge change in the patient's role. In the last 30 years of my practice, the patient have changed completely. They are more exposed to data, they are more involved and proactive, and new tools in digital health like AI, image analysis, NLP, and more can really pave their way in the medical journey. So that's why we think that the time for digital transformation is now. And patient centricity and value-based care are our compasses guiding us in building innovative companies. Digital health can and should disrupt those areas. I believe that the key to addressing those problems is what is teamwork, and that's what Team8 is all about. One synergic team with diverse knowledge, background, and domain expertise. So the future of digital health is here. We have the passion, the expertise, and we are going to make a real difference. Together, we'll continue to reimagine the possibilities, and ultimately empower patients and generate health. And now, it's my pleasure to call on stage Nadav Tzafrir, who is a good friend and partner. Thank you, Nadav.
Hello, everyone. So first of all, thank you to my incredible partners. I want to tell you that Varda is also my doctor. So I'm going to be very, very easy on everything that I say here. Look, we met here last year at about this time. The corona pandemic was still lingering. So thanks for that, world. We were hoping back then that the economic crisis that we're all a part of right now would be a short blip. That did not happen. We were also hoping that the war in Ukraine would be over by now. That definitely didn't happen. But what did happen is a leap in AI, and specifically generative AI and GPT, which I think is, at least from where I stand, overwhelming. I think that the team that found the algorithm that would improve translation didn't anticipate that this would open the door to everything that's happening in the world right now in Gen AI and AI, generally speaking. And I think it will also have a huge impact on cyber and how we do cyber in the future. Tonight, we're going to be talking about optimism. I have to agree that, when you look at the world right now, there are actually many reasons to be a pessimist. It is what it is. But I can tell you that in my years in service, at least in the IDF, in the Israel Defense Forces, I learned that if you bring together the right people, you create the right atmosphere, and somehow create a cohesive vision that everybody can come around, and if you sprinkle a little bit of naivete on top of that, magical things happen and solutions emerge. And that's the reason I'm an optimist.